Bill Maher was absolutely just obliterated by people on the left for daring to sit down and have dinner with Donald Trump. And I figured that would be the end of it. But the very next day, you come to find out that conservatives like Tyrus and Joey from Fox were also not very happy with Bill Maher for daring to sit down to have dinner with Donald Trump. And here's a little piece from Tyrus just unloading on Bill Maher to give you a hint of what's to come. Man, you got to stick around for this whole thing.
So little punk-ass Bill Maher coming to the house. Sitting in the
So it all starts on the Gutfeld show, and you got Joey and you got Tyrus and a couple other guests. And it's just like Joey and Tyrus just roasted Bill Maher for sitting down and having dinner with Donald Trump. We'll go with Joey first. Take a listen.
Joey, it is interesting. He could have done that. He could have taken the credit from people on the right and met with Trump, and then he could have gone on his show in Hollywood and he could have bashed Trump and they would have loved it, right? So he did kind of take the tough way out. I mean, it's difficult for him to sit there in front of that audience and say, you know what, I liked him.
I don't know. He's been doing this for a while now. I mean, he's been doing it at least since the election season of kind of challenging what is accepted by the left. I mean, I think at the end of the day, when you have a fan base and you go into what is taboo for you, which especially on the left, people are going to stick around out of curiosity. They're not going. They're going to. Well, what was that all about? What are you going to? What are you doing having lunch with Trump? Tell us about it. I think that he's eased his way into this. He's done it when it was most safe, because Trump has never been more palatable for anyone on the left. I mean, look at Hollywood. Look how everyone at UFC, like the list of celebrities keeps growing and growing that come up and shake his hand and want to talk to him when it's acceptable. I have more respect for those that have challenged the status quo without even really warming up to Trump on the left. I don't know if I have a list of names, but I mean, he went and had lunch with him after Mika and Joe. So it isn't like he's a revolutionary here.
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually they made it around to Tyrus. And you could see in the whole video that Tyrus was just very agitated with Bill Maher. And when they got to Tyrus and Tyrus started speaking, Bill Maher lights out. Listen to Tyrus.
Tyrus, now what do you think? Maher said, liberals are not going to like this. I know they're going to come after me. And of course, they did come after him.
I'm sorry. I don't know what y'all watched, but Bill Maher. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Good.
I'm sorry. This is like someone who talked about black people his whole life and then had dinner with one and said, actually, after I had dinner with them, they're not that bad, guys. No, you don't get to do that, you coward. You went on a show and you tried to play both sides of the street.
That's right.
Why? So maybe he could do your show because the 300,000 people that watch it, if we had those numbers here, I wouldn't be here. These dudes make me laugh. Cowards die 1,000 deaths. You said things about President Trump nonstop. You had no reference point. That's all you proved to me. You sit down with the man, you break bread with the man, then you come and say, well, on this night, he was okay, but don't be mad at me. Splitting hairs, man up. I don't know what this whole thing, everyone keeps acting like they need Bill Maher. The little guy who doesn't lift weights, 99% of the internet, what, MySpace? Come on, this dude represents nobody. A PR stunt for who? I'm sorry, I missed the Oval Office Rose Garden meeting where President Trump was talking about Bill Maher was there.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
He's talking about it. President's not talking about it. He doesn't need Bill Maher. He's got 70% of the country cheering him on. He walked into UFC. The place went crazy.
Then why did he accept dinner with him if he didn't?
Because he's like everybody else.
No, why did Trump?
Because that's who Trump is. He will break bread with anyone. He will sit with Kim Jong-un and break bread. So little punk-ass Bill Maher coming to the house and sitting in the and what did Trump did? He was gracious. He treated him. Everything. He had to leave and come back and go, he wasn't any of the things I said because you were part of the machine. You were part of the thing. He wasn't as bad as Joe and Micah was where he's sharp as attack, but he led the charge. He continued to say things that weren't true. He supported things without ever bothering to say, hey, you know what? I want to sit down and when I have a problem with someone, if I had a problem with Johnny and me and him had a problem, I'd be like, we need to sit down and talk before I would go out on social media and talk about him, but he needs President Trump.
And I'd say, let me have a
weapon
weapon
audience.
first.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know. But at this point, to coin one of the greatest, funniest phrases in all of comedy, I would ask Bill Maher to step in my office, and he would say, why? Because he's fired. There it is.
I kind of like that.
Wow, you may have changed my mind.
Wow.
Y'all let me know what you think about this. You know, I did a video on the left really giving Bill Maher a hard time, and I thought they were too harsh. You know, I thought it was kind of nice of Bill Maher to sit down with Donald Trump for dinner and break bread and see if they had common ground and what they could figure out together. I did not anticipate the conservatives being equally upset with Bill Maher for sitting down. And I get it from Joey and Tyrus's perspective. You know, Joey is ex-military. Tyrus is a fighter. Both those guys value loyalty, fidelity, having your back more than anything else, and very little patience for somebody who has disrespected somebody that they happen to appreciate, in this case, Donald Trump. So I get it from their perspective. The part that I guess didn't throw me as hard as those guys was just the fact that, okay, I thought it was nice of Bill Maher to sit down. I don't look at Bill Maher as somebody that I can trust. He's a businessman. He's a comedian, and he's got a show. And in order to generate views and keep people coming back to the show, he's got to start a fire. And what better fire to start than sitting down and having dinner with Donald Trump? And he, beyond a shadow of a doubt, started a fire. So I guess I take it more middle of the road. I could see it was nice for Bill Maher to sit down. I certainly understand how people on the left feel. And I guess it was a bit of an eye-opener for me to hear and see how people who are more conservative feel. Give me your feedback. I'd love to see your comments. You know, do you think the guys on the left are right? Do you think the folks on the right are correct, or is it somewhere in the middle? Until next time, God bless. Love y'all.